Hello everyone, this is Voice of Guo.Media English channel. My name is Devin. You may also know me as Ling Hu Chung.
Well, this is June. I'm also known as Wen Wu.
So during this time, around the time of midterm election, today we have June, who's from Minnesota. She's going to be talking about how Chinese Americans in Minnesota show their support, not only President Trump, but the entire Republican Party. So, June?
Yes. Also, we're just go dive right into this topic.
Yeah. What do you guys do out there?
All right. So, well, first of all, let's just say, the midterm election, especially this year, is very important. I've never seen a midterm election as so tight or so attracting drawing so many people to vote. So the reason this is so important is, well, in 2016, President Trump won the election, and since then the Democratic has been very adamant on trying to bring him down or even trying to impeach him. And so this time, all the Republicans have been more united than ever to show support for their candidates. And at the same time, the Democrats want to get a majority in the House and the Senate. So this is a tight race.
This year, this midterm is pretty intense, I would say, because the Democratic Party is trying to do everything, whatever it takes, to bring down the Republican Party and President Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially bring down the entire America, open borders, open everything, invite all the terrorists, rapists, all these just not good people in our country. So it's very important for us, the Chinese Americans, to actually participate and get involved in this midterm election, because we, like it or not, we play a pretty big role in American society. You know, we work hard, we don't really cause trouble, but there's also a downside of that. That is, we don't have a voice within our community when it comes to, politics. I feel like a lot of us kind of just stay in our little bubbles and mind our own business, which is not a bad thing. But hey, we have the right to vote for our leaders, for decide our country's fate. That a lot of our people back home, homeland, motherland, China, they don't have such right. So I think it's time for us to step up and actually, do American things. Would you agree?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Well, it is very amazing that how President Trump has this, just motivated people and inspired people to come out to vote. And the Chinese Americans used to be very quiet and very silent, but when their children's future is at stake, they will not remain silent. So we are legal immigrants. We came here legally, and we went through all the due process to become American citizens. And we want this country to do welcome immigrants, but only through legal process. So, and for the open border, we do really oppose that idea. We don't want illegal people coming here illegally. And also for the sanctuary cities, that just sounds like against common sense. Anybody who commits crime should be in jail. It doesn't matter if you are legal or illegal residents, and for illegal residents, it should be even more so. So whatever the Democrats, whatever their rhetoric, trying to bring President Trump down. It just functions as a motivator for people to come out more and to uphold the Constitution and the law and order of this country. And in Minnesota, the Chinese Americans have been doing a lot in many ways. Like me personally, I participate in calling, volunteering, like by calling people, asking their voting preference, and talking to them about the Republican ideology and our candidates. And also we mail letters and we knock on doors, and we also have community gatherings, and we invite the our Republican candidates for the governor, for the AG, Attorney General, to come out and to talk with us what their policies, what their ideas for Minnesota are. And also, they're all over throughout the U.S. We people have been like mailing letters to churches, like trying to get the churches to come out to vote, whatever choice they have. We do want to encourage them to vote for Republicans, to uphold our Constitution, to make this country stronger and safer for us and for our children. So recently, we have done some fundraising very successfully to put up billboards, electronic billboards, and on them would be our candidates, Republican candidates. And we also plan to have a time that we will go to some intersection or some bridges where there are a lot of traffic, we'll hold our candidates signs for people to see. So there are so many ways we're involved. We're actively trying, and we're actively talking to people about our candidates. So this is what we have been doing, and we're very hopeful that we're going to turn Minnesota red.
Wow, that's awesome. You guys actually knock on doors and talk to people? That's
yeah, sure. Yeah, we some of our volunteers done that, and some of us have been doing like mailing some literature brochures to people. And
do people
there are many ways that we're involved.
Do people have a good grasp on, like, the fundamental difference between, Democrat and Republican, like the ideas behind each party and why they should, support President Trump and that sort of stuff?
It's well, when we did the phone calls, so I have personally encountered people who are kind of like set in their mind. They say, I have always voted Democrats. I'm not going to change just for you. Or, oh, him, that governor candidate, he is a Trump person. Trump is a liar, or this, or criminal, or this or that. So you encounter that, and there's some people you get the feel that you can talk with them, and for some other people you just have to say, well, I disagree with you, have a good day. That's all you can do. There's just so much you can do towards certain people. You can lay out the policy, the differences between the two, and sometimes they do think about it like, oh yeah, oh, is that right? Oh, I never thought about that. I agree, this law and order is important. Or I don't want an open border. I want people to come legally. So that's what they would say. So yeah, it's pretty clear. We have the literature we can show them, or we can tell them the fundamental differences between the two, and people respond And I'm very glad that a lot of people say, I want my Second Amendment right. I want the right to bear arms. So, and I will vote for Republican. And I have a couple friends who love hunting, and I'm gonna get them to also vote Republican. So, it's very encouraging when you hear that message.
Yeah, I will imagine Minnesota, comparing to like California, which is heavily, probably compromised by the CCP.
Mm-hmm.
Minnesota is kind of like, in the middle of the country. I feel like it's Chinese people out there, Chinese Americans out there are, less likely to get like have like exposure to, the corruption that contamination comes from CCP party. And I feel like they will, they have clearer minds comparing to, the majority of Chinese Americans in like the coastal state like California, for say.
Well, yeah, I do hope what you said is true. However, Minnesota, U of M, University of Minnesota has the biggest population of Chinese students in the whole wide world. So that means we also probably have more. I'm sure the CCP will put some force here because the more Chinese people there are, and then the more they would like the influence.
They're students.
Them. Yeah,
they can't vote the student visa. They can do all they want with the students.
Yeah, true. But then there's the Chinese community that is the established community that or they run newspapers, and they have the community organizers and stuff. Who knows what? I mean, we do know that some of them are like work closely with the CCP, with the embassy. Yeah.
Is Minnesota like traditionally a blue state or red state?
Yeah, it is always blue. It has not been red for I don't know how long, since Reagan. They did not even vote 1937. Like, it did not even vote Reagan when Reagan was so popular. So that said something about the state. It's pretty blue. However, in 2016, it came so close. Like, the difference between the two, the blue and the red, is closing. The gap is closing. So we are really hopeful it'll turn red. Really, with the race now, the governor race and the senator race with Karen Housley. So it's really looking good, and we really do have hope that the major officials like the governor, the AG, the Attorney General, and the Senator choice, Karen Housley and Doug Wartlow and Jeff Johnson, we're very hopeful that they will win, and win bigly.
That's great. That's yeah. I'm pretty sure that upcoming election, maybe not the midterm, but 2020, it's gonna be a huge, giant red wave across, rolling across the nation. But
I think,
go ahead.
Yeah, President Trump came to Minnesota this midterm like 2 times already, in mid-June and in also in is it October? Yeah, October 4th, when Vice President Pence gave the speech in Hudson Institute. President Trump was here in the Mayo Clinic, which is the world famous clinic that all world leaders come for treatment. We were there. Yeah. Okay.
Ties into Mr. Miles Guo.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'd like to hear you say something.
Yeah, like Mr. Guo's influence in like the Chinese communities within Minnesota. Do people know him?
Yeah, actually, when I served patients at clinics, and then I saw people, and some people just say they follow him, they watch every episode, all the YouTube videos of him. They're really interested in him. One person was an attorney, and another is some retired person. So I've seen a few individuals who talked about him. So, and
You
of
actually,
course,
talk to them, like see what they think of Mr. Guo.
yeah, one of them claimed that he worked with him, and he didn't like his personality much. I don't know, and then I think he had some kind of personal conflict with him. And another guy, of course, he didn't know Mr. Kwok. He is just interested in what he has to say. And that guy is like a 70 or 80 years old gentleman, and very learned scholar. So his daughter told me, "Oh, my dad watches him, and just all the time, and very interested, very excited about what he says." So, yeah. And I only heard about him just a few months ago.
About
Yeah.
Mr. Guo?
Yeah. So it's really
long time.
yeah, it's really exciting to see to know what he has to say, and all the dark secrets he exposed. And living outside China for so many years just gives me a more fresh look, a fresh glimpse, as an outsider looking in. And then you just feel so many things that we used to take for granted. Now we know that's not fair, that's not justice. Yeah, that's what I felt.
Yeah, most Chinese Americans, they kind of gone away from China. Like they don't want to hear anything about China. They don't care what's going on in China. They know it's corrupt. It's not right what's going on in China. They simply just stop caring.
Yeah, it's true. And people don't want to get into trouble, and they know even when they are out of the country, they could still get into trouble, or they care about their families or their relatives in China. They're just afraid if they say something, they might get into trouble, and when they go back, they may get some problems. So also, like, it is also like, you are told not to talk about politics. You are always told, do not criticize the leaders, do not criticize the country, because otherwise you're trying to pervert, you're trying to overthrow the leaders or the government, and you're not supposed to. That shows you're not a patriot. You're not a good
Chinese people are taught to be, just mind your own business. Don't question your leadership. Never ask questions why. Just mind your own business. Do your own thing. If you don't get something you want, it's because you don't get it. Because the policy doesn't work. The government is not working properly. They were taught since we're the little kids, since they were born, not to do such things. That's why even when they escape China, come over to Western countries, they tend to stick in that way, which they stay quiet. They stick with their comfort zone, their little bubble, and they never get out, even though they're encouraged to get involved in politics, but they just simply refuse to do so because it's within their almost instinct.
they're
to not
yes,
to
like
involve
they're
with politics. It's bad juju for them. It's a no-go, big no-no to do anything with politics. It's within their blood, and when they raise children, even in Western countries, they teach their children how to do that same thing. The idea passed down. So even after generations, that's why Chinese American communities remains quiet all these generations in Western countries. It's because this ideology that's been planted deep in their souls by
it's
the
ingrained.
communist government.
Mm-hmm. Well, even now, people would say, "Oh, you're not." Well, if you use the WeChat says, "Do not talk about politics, otherwise you'll be banned." And people say, "Okay, now you're banned. It serves you right because you violated the rule. It says do not talk about top politics, and you are talking about politics, and so it's your problem. You're banned. It's not other people's. It's not the government's problem." But they never look at the logic. They never look at the common sense. Well, that is called no freedom of speech. Well, if you don't talk about politics here, and are you allowed to talk about politics somewhere else? They never would want you to talk about politics because they do not want you to question their authority. They want you to just obey blindly. That's what they want. And then if you ever question and they say, "Oh, you're against the country. You do not love the country." That's not true.
They can't wrap their mind around the idea that it's okay, it's 100% okay. In fact, it's encouraged to say something about the politics, the policies, your government, because you don't think it's working as it should be. It's 100% okay, but they just can't wrap their mind around this idea because they were, like I said, it's ingrained in their brain that you shouldn't ever question authorities.
Yeah. Well, so I think it's really good that because of the 2016 election, a lot of people have woken up, and then including the Chinese, and a lot of people are more passionate about politics because it really concerns them, because it has everything to do with them. It's not like something in the air, something far away from them, because it's about the tax we pay. It's about our hospital choice. It's about our education, our school choice. It's everything. It's our daily life. Why shouldn't we care about it? We should. We really should care about all this.
That's why, Mr. Guo is so important. He kind of wakes up the people, Chinese people, that the authority the government once seemed so holy and noble it's actually corrupt and evil. So people kind of realize that it's actually totally okay to to decide, vote for my own destiny. It's okay. So that's why we're kind of running out of time right now. I just want to Mr. Guo in the end. That's why he's so important. It's not only important to the Chinese people in China, but also Chinese people in all around the globe. That it's time we've been oppressed for generations. It's time to take our fates back. So well, thank you everyone. Thank you, Jim, for
thank you, Devin. It's nice having this talk with you.
It's been wonderful. Hopefully we can do another one soon.
Yeah, let's hope for a good midterm election result. We are very confident that Minnesota will be turned red. We will be red.
Let's keep our fingers crossed. All right.
Well, we also keep our knees bent. We can pray to our God, for everything is in His hand, and we trust Him for our justice and for our freedom and liberty.
God bless America. God bless Mr. Guo.
And God bless President Trump and his family and protect his safety and health. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.